Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is the horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Libra, we have the Princess of Wands, which is a very passionate energy. Absolutely. We have that kind of young love, young passion. If you can remember being, 17, 20 years old and finding something that you care so much about, right? And you want to spend your whole life doing it. Maybe you've gone to school for it. Maybe it's something that you're getting involved in, some kind of, group or school of thought or whatever it is, right? And the passion that is aligned with that, the love, the devotion. Very strong, very, very fiery. Okay, now let's see what these tea leaves are going to say. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to like the video or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Okay, so we have a lion. We have two people. We have this is a different one. Okay, let's see. So it looks like we have a person here, maybe a little cat. Kind of reminds me of a child or a cat. We have the head here of an older person. You can see the eye, the nose, the mouth. Now on the body of what looks like a dragon, okay? We also have a person here who looks a little older as well, and the head of a cat right here. So I feel like there really is this kind of, there's this partnership, this connection, almost like I imagine an older person with their cat who is like their child, their beloved. They're always with them. They don't want to leave the house for too long because they don't want to leave their cat by themselves. And this also kind of fits into the motif of the witch or the woman of the woods and her familiar, her cat. And so I do feel immediately that there is a sense of maybe otherness, maybe being on the fringe of the group, society, the tribe, the village, whatever, the outsider a little bit. Now, still well received, not an outcast, not exiled, nothing like that, but just kind of living in your own little world adjacent to the lives of others. Your family, your people from work, your, local community, your friends group, whatever. You are very much an individual. And yeah, I do feel like you are actually quite connected to animals. And it maybe is that you have a cat or you have a few cats. And these are your people, right? These are who you want to spend time with. And I think that, people maybe who witness you from the outside, maybe, your family, right? And it's always the family, isn't it? If it's chosen family or if it's biological or both, they might look at the way that you've lived or the way that you're living and they think, okay, well, that maybe that's kind of lonely. Maybe we feel a little bit like, oh, I hope that you come out of your shell, right? I hope that, you find somebody, or you're not going to be alone forever. And now maybe it is that you're married, right? You could be married, you could have kids, you could have the whole thing, right? And still have this kind of disposition of the hermit, or being a little bit secluded or eccentric or a recluse or whatever. But for you, I feel like this is not a sad thing, not at all, right? This is how you choose to live. And it works for you. Absolutely. And I feel like there's actually quite a bit of happiness here. Now with the dragon, I see that as being really a power sign. Also, the dragon or the lizard or the serpent, all related to the fire element, which is what we're talking about here today with that wand energy. So I feel like you are very impassioned in your world. I almost wonder if you are some kind of artist or crafter. Maybe you are somebody who, I don't know, you are a world creator. Maybe you like to game or role play or build things. For some reason I thought dollhouses, something, right? You are somebody who is not idle in your private spaces. You are, I think often people imagine when you are somebody who is quite solitary, or you like to spend a lot of time alone, you live by yourself, whatever. They imagine that you're sitting around, weeping all the time. You have nothing going on. You're just kind of, you go home and you make your TV dinner and you sit and you watch the news, and then, you go to bed and you do it all again. And there's just not a lot there. Well, listen, that actually sounds pretty awesome. I don't know exactly about the TV dinner, but, sometimes I myself, I'm a very solitary person by nature. I do. I think about those times, the many dinners I had by myself, years that I lived by myself. And now I have a child and my beautiful husband and everything else. But it wasn't ever sad for me. Maybe there were days, but it wasn't sadness because of being alone. It was sadness because there are other sad things happening, right? So I do feel like this is actually a place where, you feel in your element. You are in your power to be unwitnessed. I think that's an important thing for you, and if you do have, a spouse, a wife, a husband, a significant other, partner, children around, maybe they're adult children, but there are people around in the house. I can imagine that you have prioritized having your own space. Maybe that's an office or a studio, or maybe it's just like a chair on the, side of the house where you like to go and sit and just stare at the sky, without anybody disturbing you. Whatever it is, you absolutely thrive in your own temple, I like to think of it as like your own sacred grove, right? This place that you get to go to and just be. Nobody is, in relation to nobody. Nobody is watching you. Nobody is interfering. Nobody is, telling you how to do something or what you should do, or, how you should do that different or whatever. Just you in your own element. And I think that this is really maybe the first time when you finally got into this place in your life. It was like the first time you felt ease in your life, right? And that leads me to believe that maybe you grew up in a place that maybe it was a little chaotic. There were maybe you had a lot of siblings, or there was a lot of chaos in the house, maybe some instability, or having really kind of overbearing family members, parents, siblings, grandparents, whoever, overly involved. Okay. Now I want to turn this. So we had that lion right here. Here's the lion. We have a cat's face again. So this is, I mean, just that feline energy. My goodness. We also have Hawthorne. Oh, yes. We have a courtship as well. Look at this. We have a person here. Here's the head. Here's the body. We have another person here. And very close to each other. Again, we have the cow's head. We have Hawthorne once more, the mother archetype. We also have, look at this person. This is why I know it's a courtship. We have the eye above a person here here's the head. Here's the body. They're holding a bouquet of flowers and also a cup, which we know the Ace of Cups, it's all about emotionality, those emotional waters, those creative waters, that sustenance of life, the beginnings of love, right? I like to think of it as like the dew of the gods, right? Just the, you know, the fluids, the liquids that we pour into each other's cups, right? And if you are in a relationship that is quite involved, and you are, you know, maybe soulmates, maybe twin flames. I know I don't usually use that word, that phrase, but yeah, you could imagine pouring each other's tea for one another, sharing of the same, you know, or source. You know, you're not drinking from each other's cups. You don't want to deplete each other's cups. You don't want to give all of your tea to somebody else. But you do. You grab the pot, you pour it for them. You set it down, they grab it, they pour it for you. And there's a belovedness there. And so I feel like there is a courtship. I feel like there is romance, there's affection, there are gestures of love and gratitude for one another. You see each other, you hear each other. This is the dream. Now, is this a person in the physical? Is this you with yourself? Because that's the ultimate love affair. To be with self. And at the beginning, yeah, we talked about you're fine being in that hermit mode, solitary. But it might also be that, yeah, you're married, or you have that partnership, you are courting somebody, you retain your autonomy, your individuality, the space that you need to do the things that you want to do, the time that you need to decompress from people, from the world around you. But you find this balanced partnership. And I think that this is one of the great blessings of your life. I don't know that you consider yourself a greatly romantic person, but this love, it feels enduring. We have that mother energy as well with Hawthorne, and with the head dress there, and the cow's head here. Okay, so to me, it is a love that comes very close to that unconditional love of the mother. Now, it might be that your physical world, waking life mother, biological mother, it might be that you had that relationship, or you have it. You know, she is your number one fan, cheerleader, absolutely has that unconditional love bond with you. It might be that you did not have that with a mother figure. It might be the thing that, you know, had been lacking in your life so greatly. But that energy is universal, right? There's the all mother. There is the mother of the sky, of the earth, of the waters, of the fires, all of these, right? And we see those in the Queen cards. And so we also have that princess energy. So it tells me, yes, we have this mother-daughter, although you don't have to be a woman, right? These are archetypes we all contain. But there is this complex love and kinship and, you know, the struggle that goes into a mother-daughter relationship can be great, right? To be able to really respect one another, to hear one another, to honor one another, doesn't always feel like that is intact, even though it really might be, right? Because there's a mother, a daughter growing up, learning to be a human being, learning to be themselves, very influenced by that mother energy. And if there's, you know, a very similar, two beings very similar, trying to kind of carve out their own space, their own, you know, position, you can bump heads a little bit. Absolutely. But then there's that other side of, I'll always be here for you. I'll do anything for you. I love you. I'm devoted to you. We are of each other. And I feel this energy really blessing your life. There's a strong mother bond. And now it might be that you have, stepped into the role. You are the mother now, right? And these are things that you are navigating. This is something that's very active in your psyche. And it only strengthens you. It only strengthens you. But I do see there's a love bond, romantic. There is a mother-daughter bond. Complicated, complex, but probably the most beautiful, maybe the most important relationship of your life. If that's with your mother, if that's with the universe, if that's with your own daughter. And we have that lion. Oh, the lion and the cat and the cat and the lion. And I want some clarity. What is that lion doing? Who is the lion coming into the mix? Are you the lion? Is your child the lion, your mother? Is this your beloved one? I don't know. We're going to see. We're using the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Originality. Okay, so we have maybe somebody who is quite unique. Risk. Health. Okay, I want two more clarifiers here. Enthusiasm. Discovery. So I'm feeling like there's probably some kind of chronic health thing, right? Now, it might not be that it's always in a flare-up or, you know, even perceivable, right? But there's an underlying health issue with this person. And I feel like their lifestyle, or at least maybe their like chosen work or whatever it is, it does put this at risk. But I think they've made the decision to go this course anyways, right? And I feel like they are somebody who is innovative, is just has been endlessly curious about the world, okay? Maybe they travel a lot, they're very busy, they're always working, they're very enthusiastic about their work. This is where their focus is, more than anything. And the originality, I think that they're very much a very unique person, but also doing work that allows them to be quite creative. And I almost wonder if they work in the sciences, or for some reason, I think because of this card, discovery, like archaeology or some kind of anthropology, or, you know, something kind of different, right? You don't meet people doing this kind of work that often, right out in the wild, right? You're not meeting people at the grocery store that are, you know, doing this kind of stuff. So I feel like for you, I just almost feel like you worry. You know that they're tough. They're like the lion. And they might even be a Leo. But you still worry. And you think, you know, maybe they're young, a little bit naive about just being so driven that they're not taking breaks, and being so immersed that they're so focused, right? That maybe other parts of their life you perceive to be lacking in some way. This might sound familiar from the beginning, right? And so I think that you know what it's like to be judged. You know what it's like for people to think that they know better than you. And also, you know, for people to feel like it's their place to tell you you're not making good choices for yourself. Even if it's something that you're doing that's positive, productive, still saying, well, you should maybe try doing this other thing, or this is going to end up being, you know, really harmful to you, or whatever it is. And so I think that you try to exercise a little more understanding, a little bit less of, you know, being reactional or worried, or, you know, calling and checking in every 12 hours. My poor daughter, she's going to be so annoyed with me when she gets older. I will be texting her constantly, I'm sure. How you doing? How you feeling? How did it go? You know? But I think for you, you know, like you can't force somebody to live differently than they want to, right? And you know that for yourself, you know that for other people in your life. And I feel like for you, it's like, yeah, you get to sit back and kind of look at the glory of somebody really living in their passion. But it also does. You worry about the health ramifications. And so you know, I don't know what there is to do about that besides make the best of things, you know, and celebrate. We celebrate our children, our loved ones, our friends, you know, that are doing things that they really care about, you know, if it makes sense to us or not. If the, you know, the payout seems less than the work put in or not, right? It's not really our place to decide for somebody else. And I think that you know that. And that's part of what ends up making you, you know, so close, I think, is that, yeah, you'll state how you feel and what your thoughts are, but you're not going to be overbearing about it, right? You like to give people space to be themselves, to live the way that they want to live, you know, and I don't think that's a bad quality at all. Okay, let's go ahead and look over here. So I feel like there's going to be some kind of trip, or you're going to have to be going somewhere. And I don't think it's planned so much. I think it's kind of like something comes up in the family, or you're invited to something last minute, or whatever it is. And yeah, you're going to be maybe like driving a little ways away, maybe a couple hours, or like driving for a day or whatever. But I see you stopping somewhere to maybe get some food or take a little break. And what I'm seeing here is 2 horses stopping to eat. Okay. Now we also have an interesting flower there. We have the letter U up here. And I think in this time, wherever you are, now you might be going to the other side of town and it's like you stop for gas or something. Or maybe you're going, you know, halfway across the country and you're stopping at truck stops and diners and, you know, whatever. There will be an encounter. And it feels like high strangeness, something otherworldly, some kind of phenomena. Now, I don't think that this is something that's going to follow you or stay with you. Yeah, in your mind, of course, you'll be thinking about it. But I feel like it's like you witnessed something that you almost feel like you weren't supposed to. Like it's hard to even wrap your head around, like, what was that? You know? And it will be profound. It will be something profound. But I think that it's also not that rare for you, because I get the sense that you it is a kind of clairvoyance. It's like you like you're attracted to portals. Or you find yourself near portals quite often. And so these are places where things can pass through back and forth. It's like a thinning of reality, right? The big portal that we might all be familiar with is like Halloween, All Hallows Eve, Samhain. I don't know how to say that right. You know, the Feast of Saints, or is that, I think that's the same one. And yeah, this is where we know, like, okay, this is the time of year where the veil is thinned and we experience things that are, you know, outside of our realm of understanding, or at least, you know, what we're used to seeing. But for you, I think that you find yourself in places quite often where these kinds of weird happenings are kind of going on. And I don't think it's like you have any one particular kind of phenomena that you experience, like it's all UFOs or it's all, you know, spheres, or it's all ghosts, or, you know, like reality glitches, or you know, mantis people, insectoid, humanoid people, or whatever. It's not any one thing. I think that you often see all kinds of weird stuff, experience all kinds of weird stuff. But this one in particular is going to be of note. I feel like this is something that's going to stick with you for a long time. It might even kind of change the course of your belief or understanding in things, and something to not be ignored. Absolutely. I think this is important. It's a visitation of some kind, or it's like you happen upon something and it feels like I wasn't supposed to see that, but because I did, I am getting this kind of spiritual download from it, right? So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Solar radiance. I am a child of light. I give thanks for the sun's life-giving rays, which illuminate me and bathe me in warmth. My bones are strengthened, and my circadian rhythm is aligned in the radiant presence of this celestial orb. Practice. Step outside and soak in the sun's empowering light. Absorb its energy and let it refuel your cells. Your cells. Yes. Nothing like going out when you're a little bit cold and just like a lizard roll right on the flat rock, right? I grew up in Northern California, and one of my favorite things was to see snakes curled up on the road, curled up on rocks, bathing in the sun. Beautiful, beautiful to witness. And then sometimes I feel like when I go outside to like take out the trash, it's the first time in the morning I've been out yet, and I get a little bit of sun on me and I think, oh, I'm living in heaven. I'm living in paradise. Absolutely just taking it all in. That's such a nice feeling, isn't it? All right, Libra, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you want to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It's free to subscribe. I don't want you to miss any videos, so hit that little bell button thing. And yeah, other than that, I think we're at the end. It's Saturday when I'm recording this, and I don't know. It's Saturday. It's just Saturday vibes, right? My daughter's starting school here in a few days, and it just feels like the end of something, right? The end of summer, the end of having a more free schedule. I'm looking forward to the routine of the school year, though. I feel like we are already, I've got like the next 3 months scheduled out, full of things. So it will feel nice to slip into kind of knowing exactly what's going on every single day. So anyways, I want to tell you again, I love you, Libra. I absolutely do. It's almost the equinox, so let's set our intentions for this next period of time. We'll talk in a few days. Good night, good night, good night.